Hello and welcome to my presentation for my teacher toolbox for our Concordia Masters class. My name is Anthony Gonzalez and I decided to create a website using Google Sites to create my teacher toolbox, and I'm going to take you through it. I provided all the different areas that I'm going to explain what applications and what technologies apply to them. So we have gamification followed by mobile learning, online assessment tools, presentation tools, social media usage in the classroom, student creation, the cloud, and then some additional resources, as well as in the very beginning here, my lesson plan syllabus for my technology integrated lesson plan. That ties in a lot of these different technologies. I wanted to find something that was very diverse in its approach. So to begin with gamification, as we take a look at it, I provided a few different games as well as a couple of explanations on how this all works. So, in one of our master's classes, we talked about what's called the Florida Virtual Academy. And one of the things that stood out to me was the use of Minecraft in the classroom. And it's a really interesting thing because students love Minecraft. Unfortunately, it does cost money to bring into the classroom, but it's usable with many different technologies. We have iPads, we're one to one, so that would work there. And it was very, very cool to see students use Minecraft in the classroom. So this is a student explaining the periodic table, the creation of colors, and looking at all those numbers through Minecraft. And it's a very cool tutorial video that they use for the Florida Virtual Academy that you can click on and see how you apply that into the classroom. I thought of it as a history teacher as a way of explaining the presidencies or building up a plantation village or showing the first colonies and what you would create and how you would create it. So I thought that would be very cool. The second is Market Watch. I'm an economics teacher, and so the next two are very much for me when it talks about gamification. And one of the most successful games I use in the classroom is a stock market game. And Market Watch is a website created by Wall Street Journal that allows you to give your students money that they can invest into the actual market without actually having to have money. So, what I do is I give my students a $200,000 cash allotment that they can invest with an option for a $200,000 loan at a 6% interest rate to see how investing makes you money in a retirement account over time. The last is the H&R Block Budget Challenge, and you can do this from elementary level all the way through high school, possibly even college. It's got some great opportunities for students to learn things. So they start off by picking a credit card and they pick a checking account and they have to pay their bills, and it sends text notifications and emails, and they have to learn to manage their debt and their earnings, and then every once in a while issues pop up that they have to handle. H&R Block also ties us into scholarship opportunities. So not only do you have learning going on for financial literacy, which every student should graduate high school with, but you also have students having the opportunity to earn scholarship money so they can go on to higher education. Aside from gamification, going into mobile learning, one of my favorites to go into in mobile learning is TED Ed, which is a stem off of the regular TED website. And who doesn't love a good TED Talk? But what TED Ed allows you to do is it allows teachers to go in and see pre-built lesson plans. And that's what ties in with Khan Academy. And I like the two of them because you don't have to reinvent the wheel. You don't have to create all of your own movies in order to go to a mobile learning platform that you can use the flipped classroom model on. Instead, you can use what's already created and then focus on different parts of the educational model. And that's why I include Google Classroom in here. Is it probably isn't the typical idea of mobile learning, but instead of being an LMS like many people would say Classroom is, I find it's a great distributor. It's a great way of managing a class via your computer and utilizing what you have. Now, online assessment is one of my more favorites because my students love the first one listed more than anything, and that's Edpuzzle. I teach a class called Contemporary World Issues, and my students came up to me and they said, Mr. Gonzalez, you give us a lot of readings to do, and that's great, but we watch the news and we struggle with watching it and understanding it. Could you do that for homework every once in a while? So I found a way to assess it. And Edpuzzle allows you to put in questions. It allows you to put in open-ended questions, regular objective questions, and then it auto assesses those students and gives them their score. And it's really easy. You can also track progress and go back through each video and see how many times they watch different segments before answering questions. It's awesome. It's a great video version of what Flubaroo would do with a Google form, which would just be an assessment portion, and Socrative. Nearpod also comes in as a very useful tool because not only is it presentation software, but it's interactive presentation software. And I've used that for homework many a time in order to assess students while they're working on a or watching a presentation. So I don't have to present in out of excuse me, I don't have to present in class. I can do it out of class instead. The last is Mastery Manager, and this is something that we're looking at taking on at the high school I teach at. It provides online assessment without allowing students to screenshot, move off of a page. It shuffles questions. It allows for objective questions that grade immediately. It allows for open-ended questions. It allows you to draw in an answer or write in an answer if you need to, which is very cool. So it's online assessment for students, but it gives teachers the safety that they're constantly looking for. Presentation wise, Prezi I don't think is anything new or anything crazy for teachers these days. It's been around for a while, but you gotta love the depth that Prezi allows in a presentation. And Google Slides is one of my favorites because it's so easy to share via Google Classroom and it's so easy to collaborate on that it provides you with everything that PowerPoint doesn't. SlideShare is awesome because it allows you to share presentations to people who are non-Google Apps for Education, and that's a very nice thing to do to post for the public. And then some of the non-typical ones that I like to use, one is Corculus. It's like a giant bulletin board, and I'll show you what this looks like because if you click on any of them, it'll take you right to the tool. We use this on iPads, and you can see here you can create different types of bulletin boards that allow you to generate new versions, message boards, reminders, mind maps. There's so many options and it's so easy to do on an iOS device. So my students are big fans of them and it's something different, and that sometimes is the best part. Canva is used by a lot of designers for different things, and their basic web page doesn't show you too much, but they do have an iPad app, which is really nice. And as you see here, you take that design to your fingertips. So you start from a blank canvas, which kind of goes with the name of it, and they allow you to create different types of presentations that I would say infographic presentations. We've done movie covers or movie posters for certain types of novels and books. So Canva can offer some really nice things. And then Haiku is a storyteller. It's instead of doing just a regular presentation, you create a storyboard, which is very nice. Social media is one of my favorites, and I will say that I could not teach without Twitter, and I use SS Chat most often because I'm a social studies teacher, but I put all teacher hashtags on the right-hand side here that I have offered other teachers at my school to use for professional development. Now, I also have a classroom page for Twitter. My students have followed many a conversation on Quora, but social media provides a really nice outlet for my students. Elementary school teachers seem to really enjoy Pinterest, and high school teachers now as well, as it has really grown in offering suggestions and creating new innovative ways in the classroom. And my students have started blogging, and they blog on world issues, and it's been one of the most fun things I've brought into the classroom to publicize your writing and make them think about the world. Reading their opinions is really, really exciting to them. That's an accidental click. As we go forward, and all of these pictures are links so you can get more information from the website. When we talk about student creation, iMovie is very popular at my school, so I don't like to use it too much. Sometimes I throw Animoto in, and Animoto, I did provide a video on it. It's a very simple way of creating videos, especially for kids who aren't good at video editing. I would say iMovie is similar to it. Creation-wise as well, we use the Google Apps Suite because we're Google Apps for Education, and so you have everything from the creation of Google Sites, which I'll show you in my lesson plan soon, to any type of presentation or creation software. Cloud-wise, my biggest endorsement is always Google Apps for Education going through Drive, but Dropbox offers some really nice online storage options as well. Cloud computing is so important. The flash drive is such a nuisance in education that it's nice to store things so they're always accessible. In my resources, I provided some of my favorite blogs. Alice Keeler being the queen of my blogs. I love going and seeing her revolutionary perspective in education. But some of my other favorites are Richard Byrne, who does free technology for teachers. He's a great Twitter follow as well. I showed you some of the different TED Ed lesson plans. If you've never read David Guerin, it's very cool because he's a principal, and usually you just hear from teachers. If you've never heard of Edudemic, you need to start researching education blogs more often because it's probably the biggest source of education articles and readings and videos. Mindshift is very cool. It's so out of the box, and they talk about these fringe concepts that most people don't discuss, but the idea of like no homework and going completely paperless in your school, things that some people would be so scared of. And then a few how-to videos as well as some links to attacking all Google apps for education. So each one you click will take you to a nice help desk so you can go through it step by step. Now, my lesson plan is a lesson plan that I'm very proud of and I'm very proud to roll out. This is a build your own business lesson plan as inspired by Shark Tank. And I provided some question and answer that my students may have. I provided some contact information so I can roll this out to my students at any time. If you look at the assessment portion, I was going to use Gubrick, but for lack of time, I created this via Google Spreadsheets and then posted it for students so they can see. And the one thing that I did was, aside from mix my sizing up here apparently, was I decided I wanted to attack everything from website functionality, thinking about who they're producing for, how it will be produced, what will be produced. And the exciting part for me is as you take a look at some of these examples is you will see that students in creating their websites are going to they're going to do 3D floor modeling. They're going to use Google Drawings. They're going to use Google Maps. They're going to use Google Spreadsheets. They're going to use Google Sites. They're going to use a logo creator. They're going to go through and think about pay and qualifications. They're going to use Google Calendar. So it really gets them to use the entire app suite plus Google Sites being the emphasis and the platform for all of this, and then really run through the Chrome store and find technologies that I wouldn't even think of. And it's been a really great lesson plan in the past. So going with this, because they use so many technologies, I provided them with some technology tutorials as well because I know they're not experts in all of them. And I also provided some of the content of my lesson plan just in case you needed something more formal. Aside from all of these things, um, there is a resource guide to all of this, so you can see all of my citations. A couple of my citations fall underneath on the bottom of the page here. That way you can see that, but I will attach that to the very last tab. Thanks for your time.